A Minnesota mother reportedly told police that she tried to kill her own 3-year-old daughter because the baby was continuously crying for food. Hey mom, yeah, that's what kids do. Pelican Rapids police officers responded to a call at around 9:30 p.m. July 10th for an unresponsive toddler. They began CPR but said that the mother sat on the couch smiling the entire time. There were the officers at the home trying to save the life of the mother's 3-year-old daughter. We're not told the girl's name, and the mother does nothing other than sit on the couch smiling, indicating that she's glad that her toddler, her 3-year-old daughter, was unresponsive, glad that the police officers were struggling, unable to revive her. Emergency medical personnel arrived. They rushed the little girl to the hospital. Tragically, the 3-year-old girl was pronounced dead. Again, the mother's just sat there on the couch, smiling. The mother told police that it's the girl's grandmother that usually feeds her, not the mother. Too much trouble for the mother. It's the grandmother's job to feed the 3-year-old girl, not the mother's job. And the grandmother wasn't home. So what does that mean? Well, it means that the 3-year-old will go hungry because it's not the mother's job. She refuses to feed her child. So, that being the case, the 3-year-old was crying for food. She hadn't been fed. The article that I read through seemingly had a few errors in it. As far as I can gather, the mother, infuriated by her 3-year-old daughter's cries, the mother tried to stab the 3-year-old. Seemingly, she didn't stab her, but the knife was found in the arm of the couch. So we're not quite sure what happened there again. The article that I read through seemed to have a couple of errors in it, but it seems that the mother almost stabbed her 3-year-old. Perhaps she stopped herself, but what a psychopath, what an evil banshee to have that evil, violent thought in her head. You know what? I'm going to stab my child. So we can be thankful for a moment that the mother didn't stab her 3-year-old, but then we learn that the mother shook and suffocated her own 3-year-old daughter, punched her in the throat, and then laid on top of her to keep her quiet. You see the photo of the mother. Her name is Saud Ali, 27 years of age. We see that one photo. I don't want to fat shame. I could lose a few pounds myself, but this is a big lady. We don't see a full photo, but we can see her face. She's a big lady, and she laid on top of her 3-year-old daughter to keep her quiet after she had shook and suffocated the 3-year-old, after she had punched her in the throat. The medical examiner reported finding a bite mark on the toddler's cheek and bleeding around the brain. Toxicology and microscopy tests are pending. The investigation is still open, but this evil banshee psychotic bitch of a mother, Saud Ali, 27 years of age, has been charged with 2nd and 3rd degree murder. Her next court date is July 24th. I am questioning if we're satisfied with 2nd and 3rd degree murder. Why not 1st degree murder? I literally don't know the answers to that. 1st degree murder would have a greater level of premeditation, I believe. Ultimately, I don't really care about the description of the charges. I'm more interested in the sentencing. In some cases, I believe I'm right in saying, and I might well be wrong, but in some cases, 2nd and 3rd degree murder sentencing can be significantly lesser than it is for 1st degree murder sentencing, but not always. So for me personally, my concern is whether or not she is going to be charged adequately, and if she is found guilty after she's faced trial, and I have no doubt that she will be found guilty. We're told that the mother has admitted to have shaken and suffocated her own daughter. According to this one article that I've read through, the mother has confessed. The medical examiner's report found a bite mark on the 3-year-old girl's cheek, bleeding on the brain. Clearly, she was beaten, she was suffocated. I can't see how the woman can't be found guilty, but I do hope that she gets adequate sentencing. Of course, full condolences to the sane family and friends, sane family of the 3-year-old girl. Again, we're not told her name. We're told that essentially it seems that she was murdered at the hands of her own mother because the mother was sick and tired of a 3-year-old girl, her 3-year-old daughter, acting like a 3-year-old girl, crying when she wasn't being fed, when she hadn't been fed. murdered. The mother too lazy to feed her own daughter. Why should the mother do that? Why should the mother do that? It's the grandmother's job. And if the grandmother isn't home, well, obviously then the 3-year-old girl has to go without food. Obviously. I'm being facetious, of course. The mother apparently tried to stab the 3-year-old. That didn't happen, thankfully, but the mother then did lay on top of the 3-year-old, suffocating her, and then smiled as police officers failed to revive her. This is a sick, sick individual. She needs to get proper sentencing, and really that means life in jail and or life in a mental institution. She needs to undergo a psychiatric assessment. If she's found to be an absolute lunatic, which I would not be surprised if that is indeed the case, but if she is to be found to be an absolute lunatic, then she needs to be held indefinitely in a mental health institution. Not given a pass, not given a light sentence, not given some treatment and then let go, held indefinitely. And if she is to be released from a mental health institution because of psychological improvements, then put her into a prison or a jail or an incarceration facility. I'm going to wrap things up at this point. I don't know if we can learn too much from this. I think we can just learn that there are some real fucking evil pieces of shit amongst us in our neighborhoods. Women, mothers, acting like murderers, being murderers. This shouldn't be the case. A parent shouldn't murder their children. Obviously, I'm talking nonsense at this point. It's just upsetting to see too many of these articles like this, where it's just time and time again, a mother, a parent, the mother's boyfriend, the father, just killing their own children. It just makes no sense. So I'm going to wrap things up at this point. Thank you for listening. Don't listen to too many of my videos. I'm going to be trying to make 2-3 videos a day. If that suits you, please stick around, but dip in, dip out. These topics are very depressing. I'm not being a great deal of fun going through them, and we can't focus on these subjects too much, so don't try to watch every last video. I'm going to wrap things up. Take care.